On a bright Monday morning, 8-year-old Henry wakes up energized. He quickly puts on his blue hoodie, ties his white sneakers, and joins his family for a warm breakfast, feeling completely prepared for the day ahead. But Henry is running on pure momentum. Because he feels so ready, he hasn't stopped to build a routine or a checklist. He is trusting his own memory to manage his logistics. In the rush to get started, details often slip through the cracks. As he finishes his breakfast, Henry waves goodbye and runs out the door, leaving his school bag sitting quietly on the kitchen chair. Since nothing goes wrong immediately, Henry has no reason to worry. He enjoys his walk to school, smiling at butterflies and greeting his friends, entirely unaware that he's missing the books and pencils he needs. Intentions are a poor substitute for a routine. Without a concrete way to verify he has what he needs, Henry is simply waiting for a morning where his attention is somewhere else. The realization hits the second he sits at his desk. Miss Taylor, his teacher, begins the lesson and asks the class to take out their math books. Henry reaches down beside his chair and finds nothing. His heart rate picks up. He looks under the desk and behind his chair, his face turning pale as he remembers leaving the bag in the kitchen. His mind begins to race. Without a plan for how to handle this, he expects the worst. He worries Miss Taylor will be angry and that his friends will think he's irresponsible. Without a clear sense of how to fix the problem, a missing bag feels like an insurmountable crisis. Henry has two options. He can try to hide the mistake and hope no one notices, or he can take the risk of owning up to it and face whatever comes next. He decides to be honest. With a shaky hand, he tells Miss Taylor he left his bag at home and is very sorry. The reaction isn't what he expected. Instead of a lecture, Miss Taylor smiles kindly. She thanks him for telling the truth and reminds him that everyone forgets things sometimes. This diagram shows a single moment branching into two results. If met with grace, momentum shifts toward fixing the issue rather than hiding it. With fear gone, Henry can process the event logically. The mistake isn't panic, it's information for next time. Miss Taylor's calm response strips away the dread, leaving behind a simple, manageable problem. Back at home, Henry's mother finishes the dishes and finally sees the bag on the chair. She knows he'll be worried, so she immediately picks up the bag and drives it over to the school. When she walks into the classroom, the tension evaporates. The class laughs gently, reinforcing the idea that this is a normal, fixable hurdle. With his mother's help and his classmates' easy reaction, the weight of the morning lifts. Henry can stop worrying about his lapse and focus back on the lesson. That evening, the family talks about what happened. Instead of a scold, the conversation becomes a way to understand why the bag was left. Henry's father adds to the support by sharing his own stories. He admits he used to forget his lunch frequently when he was young, making everyone laugh. These stories normalize the lapse for Henry. He starts to see that even his parents have navigated the same small frustrations. However, he also realizes that he needs a better way to get out of the house. He needs a system that doesn't rely on him being excited to remember his gear. When a family looks at a mistake together without judgment, it leads directly to a solution. Henry decides to create a physical safety net. He writes out a checklist of everything he needs and tapes it right by the front door. The next morning, he isn't rushing. He stops at the door and verifies his gear. Bag, homework, lunch, water. Everything is exactly where it belongs. When he sits at his desk at school, he feels steady. He has his books, his pencils, and he's ready to learn without any underlying worry. Lapses are part of life, but they don't have to be disasters. By being honest and creating better systems, we use our mistakes as the blueprints for more reliable habits in the future.